Well, welcome back to Be Productive. I'm your host, Clara Capano. As we grow our businesses, we want to make sure that we are taking the right steps to ensure proper growth. And one of the things that we need to do is look at our compliance. Are we following things the right way to again yield the right results and to keep everything above board? So to help us with this conversation, I am bringing in the president of Shelton and Associates, my friend Ryan Conn. So Ryan, welcome to the show today.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, so we're talking compliance. That can be a very scary word for people. Oh no, we're talking the law and we're talking about, staying out of trouble. But let's talk about compliance. Why is this so important, especially when it comes to the tax obligations that are out there for entrepreneurs and small business owners?
That's a wonderful question, and this is an area of hazard that a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners, freelancers, contractors, they really don't foresee this. When you're getting into business, you've just identified a passion or a skill that you have, and now you're trying to go out there and conquer the world using your skill and make a way for yourself. What you're not thinking about is, oh, how do I keep in compliance with the IRS, the state, and the local regulatory bodies? And that's where you need helpers with. One of the biggest things we see, and in our field, it's almost shocking, but most people don't realize that if they're a corporation, if they're any type of company type in that entity status, that their filing date for taxes is March 15th and not April 15th. So we'll have people come in late March saying, hey, I'm a new client to you, can you file my taxes? And they're already late. And that invokes a lot of penalties, late filing fees, and it's just literal money that you could have been using for yourself that you're just throwing away to the government for one simple compliance issue.
Yeah. One of the things that I could never keep a pulse point on are all of the deductions, the credits. They seem like they're changing minute by minute. So talk to us about some of maybe the credits, the deductions that are available for entrepreneurs that maybe we're not aware of. And how do we stay on top of all of these things?
That's a great one. I'll give you another area where people can unfortunately get a little jammed up, and that's for travel. So keeping track of your miles, your vehicle expenses and things like that. If you have a company vehicle, we highly recommend you do that, but there are due diligence steps that you need to do to make sure that's followed through correctly. And one of those is a contemporaneous log that you have to keep up with your mileage. And you may think to yourself, the commercial truck drivers sit there and fill out their log every day. Well, guess what? The freelancer and the contractor that's claiming their vehicle has to have a contemporaneous log as well. So we teach people to leverage technology, have one of those apps working in the background to where you can just look at your phone or your data reports and categorize everything in seconds instead of minutes and hours ultimately by the time the year is done. So that's one big area. Another one would be also the way in which you pay people. So if you're paying somebody more than $600 in 1 year, you are forced to issue a Form 1099, and that's reported to the government. If you don't do that, you face significant fines for every form that you did not file. Again, that's just another way that you can be forking over your money for free to the government instead of using it to grow your business.
Wow. All these little nuances. Again, this is stuff that just is so overwhelming and outside, the normal day to day operations of an entrepreneur who needs to be out there in the field getting the business coming in. So, just another great example of why we need to partner with someone like you. Can you think about maybe a time you were sitting down with a client and you started going over some of these and you just saw the light bulbs coming up? Like, what are some of the ways that you've been able to save some entrepreneurs some good cash by going through some of these?
That's a wonderful question. So we have seen people have entire functioning portions of their business. So we have a client that is really big in fiber optics. They're really big into running wires and poles and things like that. He had an entire workshop at his house where he would prepare so much material, so much trucks. They would load and unload from his house, and this is a huge specialty purpose building, which is a specific category in depreciating. He didn't have the building included. He didn't have any of the equipment inside of it. He just thought that was part of his house and he couldn't use it. And we were able to capture all of that. Of course, there's a compliance method to how we do that, and we saved that guy $205,000 in 2 years of taxes, just one capturing and doing it through the compliance work, because technically those things had to be capitalized and captured on the tax return anyway, and he was just running his business, doing a great job, but he did not know that one, if a liability issue came up, his personal property was in jeopardy when really that should have been commercial property. So there's legal ramifications, tax ramifications, and we all got that cleaned up for his maximum benefit.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Again, just so much insight that you bring. Now, another thing that we need to do as entrepreneurs and business owners is forecast. We need to always be looking into the future. So, how can following and navigating through these compliance situations help us with planning ahead for the future?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Planning for the future is one of the main things we're all about. We don't want to be looking at history and just reporting numbers, just reporting the facts of how things played out. We want to be navigating for the future. And a great way to do that, I can think of one, is where people are sole proprietorships or partnerships, right? They've never truly incorporated, but they're making significant amounts of money and they are having to pay a boatload of self-employment tax. That's 15.3% of your revenue just gone to the government. Well, if you are making significant money, doing some type of election to be a corporate status could drastically reduce your taxes. Now, the compliance says you are required to then make reasonable compensation to the partners and owners, the stockholders, but those reasonable compensation factors are based on a myriad of different minutia, and that comes out throughout the year. So you may actually pay yourself a lot less money through W-2 wages, but be able to take home a much larger net profit and skip out on your self-employment tax at the same time, which you're liable for both sides of that self-employment tax. So it sounds a little convoluted, but the average person that we see come in the door that makes an election like this, they're not just saving 15.3% of their revenue. To put out numbers, the average person saves $30, $50, $60,000 in taxes they should never have been paying the whole time.
Wow. Wow, that's just mind-boggling. So that's incredible. You know, in one of our previous conversations, you talked about the idea that you are really a trusted advisor with your clients. What I would love to ask is, as the president of Shelton and Associates, what does being a trusted advisor mean to you? And more importantly, what does that mean to your clients?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I appreciate that. So for us, trusted is very important. We want a relationship. So you're going to trust me to look inside your business on a deeper level than what the traditional accountant in maybe what we call a tax factory would be doing. I'm going to pop the hood of your business and look at all that information and give you a diagnosis. You're trusting me to do that. And then when I give you the feedback, it's still your company. You run your company. But if I come up with 5, 6, 7 options and opportunities for you, the likelihood is you should take most, if not all of those. And some of them may not just be purely workable, but you trust me that I've done the research, I have the expertise, and I'm working to your best benefit. And we package all of that out, so we're not just spontaneously coming to things with you that we're going to bill you for. You're going to know all this up front, and then we're going to walk you through a plan. So there's no insult intended here, but most people, I don't want to make you into a junior accountant, a mini accountant. I want to hold your hand through success and allow you to just keep eyes up on your industry and going, and I'll help you do the work in the background till we get to your success point, your goals that you're checking off.
Beautiful. Love that and love what you and your company are doing. So tell us, where can we find you? Because I know there's going to be people following this episode that are going to want to work with a partner like you.
We're located in Paducah, Kentucky, of all places. Love that state, love that city. And our phone number was probably the best way, or the website, 270-442-6688. And you can get a hold of CS Business Consulting there or Shelton Associates. You just ask for which one you want to talk to. The website on the screen, csbizcon.com, and that's B-I-Z. You can go either there and they'll find ways to schedule you and get you through to us, and we can start the conversation and get you help if that's what you're needing.
Beautiful. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being here for another fantastic segment. And for those of you that are watching, keep yourself compliant. It's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it might just save your business. So make sure you are partnering with an expert that is going to be watching your books, watching your back, and watching your growth, and doing it all the right way. So stay tuned, because we're going to be right back with more Be Productive.